Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So our Taito Super Pocket from HyperMegaTech has arrived. Can't wait to get this opened up. This is definitely the one I'm more looking forward to than the Capcom version. More so because the Capcom games are already on the Evercade EXP. So this is definitely the one I'm looking forward to most. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Okay guys, so this is the Taito Super Pocket. Now we've already looked at the Capcom edition. Have to say I definitely prefer the colour scheme on the Capcom edition. However, I'm more interested in the games on the Taito version, given the fact that we don't have this on Evercade. We don't have a cart, we don't have anything at all. So this is something that I guess a lot of Evercade folks are interested in, and obviously a lot of folk that love Taito games are interested in collecting too. So we've got 18 games, yep, it's official. We have 18 arcade classics built into the device, and you can also play your Evercade carts as well if you've got any. And if you haven't got any carts, I've made a video on the top 5 carts that I would recommend for this device, because yeah, not every cart would be perfect for this device. This is collection number 1. Obviously Capcom was number 2. Not sure how many more we're going to get. I'm sure they might sneak out a couple more. But there's some nice sort of screenshots of all the games included on the side, which is really nice. Yep, and then on the back just gives you some information. Yep, you can expand your library with Evercade games. It's got easy mode, which is apparently the easy mode is only for the inbuilt arcade games. I've not had any confirmation, but I'm assuming the easy mode doesn't work for arcade carts on Evercade, only inbuilt arcade games on this device. We've got 4-hour play, and I can confirm it is about 4 hours you get from the device, roughly 4 or 5 hours. It's got a 2.8 inch high quality IPS screen. It's a very nice screen for sure, probably slightly better than the original Evercade itself, but not quite as good as the EXP. And you've got the dummy cart on the back, rechargeable battery, USB-C charging, and there's your list of games at the top. Now not all of them are arcade games, there are a couple I think are not. Maybe just at least one. Space Invaders 91, you see the asterisk is next to it, that is a Mega Drive version of that. Be interesting to see how these games work. For instance, Operation Wolf really is a sort of light gun game, which I don't really know how well will work, so we'll have a look at that and see how it actually performs and if it's actually playable at all. But yeah, let's open up. Now I would recommend there are ways to open it up. You can obviously take these stickers off, which I wouldn't recommend. Taking off these stickers at the top, there leaves a little bit of a sticky residue on the box. So either slice it open or maybe slice it open at the bottom here and then slide out the device. Okay, I'm choosing the bottom to actually slide it out. It's probably the best way, but yeah, it's a personal choice guys, so just be careful. I'm always trying not to damage it in any way. Now I have to be honest, they really are not the easiest sort of things to get out of the box. They're certainly well trapped in there. Okay, much like the Capcom version, you've got this poster included. It really is just a poster talking about get more games, over 40 carts available, over 400 games on your Evercade, expand your library. It's quite a nice poster, and it's even talking about the upcoming Duke Nukem carts, which are looking really cool. And there's the website if you want to go in and have a little look. Some carts as well, 110 Evercade cartridges, and a quick start guide. There's nothing else in the box apart from that, there's just a quick start guide. Okay, and this is the actual device now. There is a little bit at the back, you just push it through to actually open it up and push it out, because it is quite wedged in there. So yeah, it comes complete with a USB-C charge cable, which I would recommend always use the cable that comes with the device to charge it. You don't want to overcharge your device and maybe cause some issues, so totally recommend use the cable it comes with. Okay, so let's have a look at the Super Pocket. It's really nice. It's certainly got a nice feel to it. Something that's certainly apparent with the Capcom edition as well. It's certainly made with a really nice premium feel material. I don't really like the lime green colours, I guess, but otherwise it's a really nice sort of looking unit. I think certainly the drawback of this is these shoulder buttons, but not a lot of games actually utilise them, so it's not a major issue. But if you find some games that overuse these buttons, they are a little bit tricky to get your fingers round to actually use. I mean, they are just clicky buttons, they're quite soft feeling, and this is your up and down volume button. So yeah, this is just really a dummy cart that is included. It's basically a dust protector. It's just a bit of plastic that's put on to the device to protect it. This is obviously where your Evercade carts will go. On the top, there's nothing really else around the side. I think these are just vents for heating or overheating to prevent, and it seems fine. This is your up and down volume button, which is fine. A little bit awkward to get to, but yeah, it's functional. But I'd recommend just try and avoid games that utilise those shoulder buttons too much. Now at the bottom, you've got your headphone jack, and you've got your on-off slider and your charging socket there, which I'm assuming if we need updates at some point, this will be how you'll connect to the PC, which will get some firmware updates. On the front, you've got your start and select buttons. They are really nice. They're all kind of quite soft feeling. I feel like certainly the buttons are a little bit too close for my liking, so if you've got big hands, this device might not be the best for you. This is a menu button which you can access different functions once you turn it on and save states in game. And this is your D-pad, which is actually okay, it works fine. Not quite as good as the controllers on the VS or the EXP, but it's fine. It'll work for the best part for most games. I certainly felt that I could pull off the special moves in Street Fighter with reasonable easy difficulty, so it's actually quite cool. But anyway, let's turn this unit on, let's have a look. Certainly one thing about these devices, the sound quality is pretty impressive given the fact it's just a single sort of speaker at the front. I mean, I'll probably have to turn this down quite a bit. Obviously, so when you turn it on, you've got the option of your different languages. There's quite a lot to choose from, but I think I might stick to English. And you get the choice between easy mode and normal mode. Now you can change this at any point in the settings. So it's really up to you. You've got easy mode, and it tells you here, this mode lowers the difficulty of built-in arcade games. As I said, it probably won't work with arcade carts if you've got some. Accept, reject. Do we have an option really? Okay, so there are 18 games. For me, this is probably a better value than the Capcom edition. It really depends what type of games you like, but for me, this is the one I'm more interested in. Bubble Bobble, absolutely superb. We've got Kadash, Chak and Pop, a very odd sort of single screen platformy game. Don Doki Don, that's another kind of single screen addictive game. Elevator Action, certainly well known game. Football Champ, this is probably one of the games I'll be playing a lot of. Football Champ, a massive favourite from the arcades in the early 90s. We've got Growl, which I definitely hadn't heard of before. And this one definitely not heard of. Kike Kai Kai, sounds odd. Anyway, we've got Liquid Kids, which is a fantastic platformer game. Really enjoy that one, excellent stuff. We've got Operation Wolf again. That's kind of more like a light bulb game. A light bulb? Okay, this is more like a light gun game, which, I don't know, will that work with the D-pad crosshair shooter? Don't know. And we've got the classic Puzzle Bobble, and I'm pretty sure I'll be playing this one a lot. Rastan, Space Invaders, the old classic Space Invaders. Space Invaders 91, this is the Mega Drive version, interestingly enough. Not sure why they included both, but there you go. The Fairyland Story, another single screen type of game. We've got The Legend of Cage, which is a kind of a scrolling sort of ninja style game, I think. Oh, the amazing New Zealand Story. This one brings me back great memories from C64 days. We've got Volfied, which I think is like a kind of Snake Quicks style game. And Bubble Bobble. So before we get stuck into playing some of the games, I suppose we should show you the options. If you press the menu button, you've got a few different settings. You can go to Evercade, and this is where you would obviously find all your Evercade carts if you have any, and you've obviously put them in the back. There's just some screens here. These are just screenshots. I thought initially they were videos, but they just go through some of the carts that you can find on Evercade. But if you go back, press the menu button, you've also got a settings which has some basic options you can choose from. You've got some different things there: pixel perfect, original ratio, full screen, and you can put some scan lines on. That's it. That's a personal choice. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but some people might like the old scan lines. This is the different volume settings. You can mess about that. Language again. And then you can find difficulty again if you want to have more challenging games on the arcade. Built-in games, choose normal. Legal and support credits, they're just a whole load of jargon that we don't really need to know about, but that's there if you want to read it. And that's it. That's all you've got access to. Very basic, very pick up and play. There's no massive different, there's no like game of the month unfortunately that you would find with an EXP. You've no secret games either. It's just the built-in games, and you can expand if you want to play Evercade games. Okay guys, just doing a quick comparison before we get stuck into the games. This is obviously my mobile phone. It's a fairly old Samsung phone, but it's actually smaller. The Super Pocket is actually smaller than my phone, which obviously means it's perfect to fit inside your pocket and take on your travels wherever you go to get a quick blast at whatever game you choose. It's perfect for that. Certainly better than the EXP or the original Evercade handheld. Okay, now just having a quick look at Xeno Crisis running on the Super Pocket and doing a little quick comparison. Obviously this is the Super Pocket, looks really nice. Obviously your EXP, the resolution is slightly better, and also it's got that slightly wider screen. But here is the original Evercade, which you can see there's obviously massive issues with the viewing angles, which isn't great, but it still looks okay on the original. But the resolution is kind of similar, but the viewing angles are pretty horrible. No doubt it looks really cool on the Super Pocket. Definitely looks best on the EXP, there's no doubt about it, but it's certainly an improvement, I would say, over the original Evercade. No doubt, I think the EXP certainly holds up best, which is obviously not surprising given that the EXP is £120, whereas the Super Pocket is only £50. But for £50, I think you can tell we're getting a really decent product for the money. Okay guys, before we move on to the actual Taito included games, I'll show you some options in game. If you press the menu button, you've got your save option. You can press save and then choose your sort of slot that you want, and then it should create some kind of picture there as well. Obviously if you've got games already saved here, you can load your progress, but that's basically that. It's very straightforward. You can also look at the controls for each game. You can't actually adjust them as per the EXP. You can only look at what the actual controls are. Now interestingly, obviously in Xeno Crisis you utilise L1 and R1 to drop and throw grenades and evasive rolls. Now this device is certainly tricky to get your fingers all the way around there. I think there's definitely a way of doing it, and it's probably by resting your top two fingers like that on the back of the device. You can see I try to rest my fingers, and then you can either push down one part of your finger or the sort of tips of your fingers onto the L1 and R1. That's the best way of doing it. If you get bigger hands, it's certainly going to be tricky indeed. Then you've got display options again in game where you can mess about full screen, pixel perfect. I think for me pixel perfect would make the screen too small. You either go between original ratio or full screen. It's up to you which you prefer, and also you've got the options of subtle or strong or none scan lines. Right guys, let's get stuck into the Taito games built into the unit, and then we'll have a look at a couple of Evercade Carts before we finish the video and give my overall thoughts. But let's get started. Let's start with Bubble Bobble. Just choose your game and press the A button. Obviously A, B, X, Y. B usually goes back. I'll turn the sound up slightly, but then I'll put it back down. The sound on this device is terrific. Fantastic, but I'll have to put it down for the video purposes, obviously. But yeah, Bubble Bobble, what can I say? An excellent title. I think the first time I played this was on the C64, which I thought was a fantastic version of this. I don't think I've played a bad version, to be honest. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but yeah, this is obviously the arcade. There's only one game that's not an arcade on this collection. And obviously you've got the bonus thing here that you can actually utilise your save states and make progress, which is just amazing. That's one of the best things about these devices, is getting those save states that you can make progress in games you probably didn't make as far on maybe the original arcades or on your home computers back in the day. Anyway, terrific stuff. If you want to save, obviously you go into the save point there. If you want to reset the game, you can go to the reset option or just quit and it goes back to the menu again and you can play the next game. Interesting, you got a choice of 4 here. Not sure what one's the best. You can obviously take your pick at any point. Get jumping, slash. Sounds like a dodgy attempt to do the toilet. Almost feels like an RPG game, I guess. Kind of an RPG action platformer thing. Doesn't really feel like your typical arcade game at all. Oh. Oh. Very nice though. Certainly one thing about these Super Pockets, the screen certainly pops, those colours pop as well. I'm pretty impressed, but again I would have to say not every game's going to be suitable for this device. I'm just going to play through the games very briefly, guys. So I've got Chalk and Pop. Never heard of it though. Now, one thing I guess about the camera here, it's actually not picking up the colours on the screen at all very well. It's a lot more colourful than you can actually see here, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, the camera's not quite displaying it as you would expect. So I think you need to get to the hearts, I think. And avoid the sort of ghosts there. I think... Oh, that's the training stage, jeez. I'm in trouble. Oh, what? Oh, I destroyed myself there. Oh, that's a bomb. Yeah, I need to obviously avoid that. So there's eggs there. I think that you can destroy, I guess. Is that what I'm trying to do? Destroy all the eggs, get to the heart. I don't know. Oh. Obviously you want to try and destroy the eggs before these sort of ghost goblin-y things, whatever they are, come out. Oh. Oh, this is definitely one of the weirdest little games I've ever played. Something like that. Very, very weird indeed, that game, that's for sure. Let's play, let's move on. We've got Don Doki Don. Say that fast 10 times. Don Doki Don. Pretty sure this is another sort of single screen game. And he's got a big hammer. Guess you just need to clear the enemies and then move on, yeah. Oh, this is lovely. Looks fantastic on this screen. Nice choice of game, I like this. This is cool. I think certainly some of these games are perfect for this little device. Single screen sort of games. That's probably what I would recommend most to play on this little device. Quick, arcadey, single screen games. Next, elevator action. Yeah, heard of this one. This is quite an older style game. 1983, is that right? I'm trying to read my Roman numerals there. I think that's quite an old one. Don't really know what the point of this is, but I guess you need to make progress, keep going, kill the bad guys. Or are they good guys? Am I the bad guy? I don't know. Feels as if I'm sort of sneaking into this place. What's the significance of the red door here? Can I go in it? I don't know. Oh. Oh no! Oh damn! I was asking for that, wasn't I? Oh, football champ. Possibly the one I'm looking forward to most, along with Puzzle Bobble. This is the one I'll probably spend the most time with. Oh, anytime I heard that in the arcade, it would drag me in. Doesn't matter what team you go. Nope. Spain. Do these guys look Spanish to you? Who knows? Now the big sad thing here, I guess, is obviously I need to mention it's 2-player games. You can't play them. You can't link up another Super Pocket. It's just not going to work. Ah, go on. Somebody put it in. Somebody. I love the fact you can foul punch the opponents and punch even the ref. Hilarious. Oh, damn. What a game though, I love it. I'm just gutted we've not got this on Evercade in some way. Maybe one day. Come on, somebody put it in the net. Yay! Perseverance. God, that feels good. Anyway, let's move on. I'll play that more later on. Growl. What a name for a game, what does that mean? If I recall, this is kind of like an Indiana Jones rip-off style game. Sort of. Suppose we'll have to choose Indiana Jones. Oh, can't speak to me like that.
You won't get away with this.
Oh, best Harrison Ford impression ever. What's the moves? I don't know. I need to probably check out what the moves are. Punch and jump? Yeah. It's probably not ideal to be hitting a girl, is it? How many purple outfitted people can you find in the one room? Terrific. Oh, this is nice though. Certainly not one I'd heard of before. It's good. Oh, we've got guns too. Sweet. What's not to love here, eh? I'm Indiana Jones. Oh, shoot me. I'll have to go up. Oh. So I'm using the weapon as a weapon, not as a shooting weapon. Now this is fun, let's move on to the next one. So far so good, some really decent games. Kiki Kai Kai. Interesting. Ah, this is almost like a Tate mode style game. Not sure this is a good choice for this. I'm not sure why they would choose this game. Which obviously brings me on to the screen ratio. Should we move it to full screen? Will it make it better or will it look worse? Let's find out. Oh no, it looks worse. Sometimes you can get away with this, but this, I don't know, is this worse? Stretching the screen, it does look pretty bad. But it's obviously going to hurt your eyes if you're going to look at the sort of squashed up version. Nice game though, I think this is pretty good, but an odd decision to include a vertical aspect ratio game on this device. Very odd. Pretty cool though, pretty cool. But yeah, odd choice. Okay, moving on to Liquid Kids, another fantastic sort of scrolling bubble 'em up. I don't know best way to describe this, but yeah, terrific. If you've never played this one, you're in for a treat. Oh, a little bit of slowdown. Unless I'm imagining that, that's definitely slowdown. Interesting. Hopefully it's not bad in game, but that menu was, let's change the display to original again. Yeah, certainly a little bit of slowdown, so I'll keep an eye on that. Seems fine in game though, but yeah, menu had some slowdown. Not a big deal, I suppose, it's only the menu. What a terrific game this is though. Does get pretty hard, the bosses are pretty tough, but excellent, excellent game. Honestly, I think between the two versions, this is definitely the one I would prefer to have The Capcom games, I feel as if you've probably played those games in so many devices over the years, and the fact that we've got them on the Evercade XP, I guess if you don't have any Evercade XP, it's fine, but I don't think you see these games on that many devices over the years. So this is definitely the one to have for me. This is a great game. So moving on, we've got Operation Wolf. Now this is interesting how this will work. It's obviously crosshair shooter. Usually would be using a light gun, but here we have a crosshair moving by the D-pad. Let's see how it works. Oh, didn't mean to do that. The crosshair itself seems pretty sensitive. This actually seems to work. Ooh. Oh. Oh wow, this works a lot better than I thought it would. Oh yeah, this is great. Oh wow. This is good. Oh, I've run out of grenades. Damn. Gonna run out of everything. Oh, this is good. Anyway guys, let's move on. That is fantastic. I'm actually really surprised. I have to say I'm really surprised at how well that worked with the D-pad. It seemed perfect. Certainly was a worry for me how it would work given the fact it's a light gun game, but have to say it works really well. Now let's move on to the game that somehow wasn't included originally, but here we have it. It's Puzzle Bobble on the Super Pocket Taito edition. Fantastic. Certainly could be one of the games I'll play most. I'm glad this is included because this could arguably be one of the best games on here, and it certainly is one of the most addictive games. One of the most addictive game series ever. Puzzle Bobble. Let's turn the sound up and I'll shut up so you can hear it. Sadly, no two-player game. Oh, this feels good. Wow. Fantastic. Oh, such an amazingly addictive game. I played this, probably Bust a Move 2 on the PlayStation, and I was very, very addicted indeed. How to mess up in 2 easy steps. Let's create a panic! Ah! Deliberate, honestly. Okay, moving on guys, to Rastan. A lot of people certainly like this game. Let's have a look. I love how he just slides along, I guess, and he collect these as well. This works great on here. Sounds amazing. I think my EXP might get chucked out the window. This is the one I'll be playing a lot of. Whoa. Don't know why I'm down there. Why did water kill me? Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. Space Invaders. Let's have a look at Space Invaders. I'm pretty sure most people must have heard of this. Oh, it looks like we'll maybe need to stretch the screen a little bit. I'm not sure if that's acceptable or not. Let's see. It looks not too bad like that. I guess you can get away with it. It's obviously the old classic Space Invaders. Very nice. Pretty good. Will it look alright if I stretch the screen? Probably not. Yeah, it's a little bit stretched. Nah, I probably wouldn't play it like that at all. Just thought I'd try it anyway, just to see what it was like. Anyway, you know what to expect here. Let's move on to the other Space Invaders game. We've got Space Invaders 91. Now this is the only game on here that's not arcade. I'm pretty sure it's Mega Drive Genesis version. So let's have a bash. Looks a little bit more advanced, I guess, graphic wise. We've got even a banging soundtrack. I don't think I was ever really a huge fan of Space Invaders over the years, to be honest. Didn't dislike it, but I think I prefer stuff like Galaxian and that type of thing. But this, nah, it was okay. Maybe I just wasn't good enough at it. Anyway, it's pretty good. It plays nice on here. Okay, the Fairyland story. Not one I'm overly familiar with, to be honest with you. This is okay. Quite good for a quick go. I'm pretty sure the early levels here are pretty straightforward and easy. It'll get pretty tough pretty quickly. And here we go. Why do they turn into cakes? Anyway, let's move on. Pretty nice, I like it. We've got The Legend of Cage. This is another kind of scrolling slash 'em up, I think. Best way of describing it. Certainly got an oriental theme. What's going on? We're climbing trees, flying in the air. Oh, those sound effects are horrible. That's not the device, that's really what the game was sounding like. Horrible. You could just keep running and hope for the best. I'm not really sure what the actual aim of the game is. Just keep going. Am I supposed to explore and find things in the trees or something? Who knows? I don't know. This is alright, I guess. I'm not sure if there's an actual point. It just seems a bit endless sort of scrolling and stuff. I guess I'll need to find something. Yeah, I've just found something. What's that? Is that what I was trying to find? Oh! Screen flash warning. What the hell is going on? What was that? Okay, we're nearly done. 2 more games. We've got the New Zealand story. Let's have a bash. I did enjoy New Zealand story back in the day. This is superb. I have to say, this game is superb. Can I just hold down the button? Yeah, I'm just pressing it there instead of just holding it down. Oh, a tricky game indeed, guys, but it's a great game. An absolute classic. Okay, let's move on. Last game. This is Volfied, is it? Probably not the best game to be included here. Again, it's another vertical aspect ratio game, which certainly I wonder why. Thankfully there isn't many on this collection, but it certainly makes you wonder why they've included them, because it's obviously this tiny screen doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Do a little bit at a time. Kinda fun, I guess. Obviously need to fill up a certain percentage of the screen. Try and take out some of the sort of monsters here as well, if you can. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, without actually dying. Yeah, it's not bad. Not really ideal with the screen ratio there. It does make it quite tricky to see. Let's see what it's like. Oh no, it looks horrific, stretched. I guess it's not really great. So it definitely makes you wonder why they've included a few of those vertical aspect ratio games. Anyway guys, that's all the games included. I have to say, I'm really impressed. There's some really great games here. I would arguably say this is better value for money than the Capcom version. But what we'll do before we wrap up the video, I'm just going to have a quick look at some Evercade carts before we finish up, and I'll give you my overall thoughts on this wonderful little device. Okay guys, first cart, I'm going to try an old cart. This is Atari Collection 1, which obviously was a bit tight fitting in some of the original sort of collections. Let's sort of show you it fitting in to this device. Oh, make sure I've got it around the right way. It's certainly a little bit snug, but as you can see it fits absolutely fine. Let's just make sure it recognises to it. And it doesn't. Let's put it back in and out again. And there you go, it's fine. Okay, next up, I suppose I better show you this one. This is Cathedral Always Awakening. Fantastic cart, but unfortunately at present, Cathedral doesn't actually work. Hopefully there is going to be a fix in place which we can update these devices, but I'll go through that if it does, if and when it does happen. If you press it, it says it's currently not supported. And as far as I'm aware, it is the only official game that does not work on your Super Pocket. So it is a bit sad because this is a great cart too. Okay, another collection I'm kind of curious about is the recent Delphine Collection 1. One of the games would not work on the Capcom version, which was Future Wars. Let's see if it works on here. And it doesn't work on this as well. Not sure if that's an issue with my version of the cart or it's an issue with the Super Pocket, not entirely sure. I have actually seen this game working on other Super Pockets, so it could well be my cart or it could be something else. Could be a dodgy save, it could be something like that. I'm not really going to play this on this anyway because the text itself is pretty small. Again, I wouldn't recommend playing some games like this because the text just isn't readable on these small devices. Now, I did make a video on games that you probably should avoid for your Super Pockets, and I'll leave a link in the description rather than playing through them all again on here. But this is an okay cart, some great games, but 2 games here I probably wouldn't recommend. Okay guys, another cart probably would avoid is something like Tour Plan. It has a lot of sort of vertical aspect ratio games. Not best for this device at all. Even though they're really cool games, I really wouldn't recommend it unless you can put up with a stretch screen or a squash screen. It's really your pick which you prefer. I would probably just avoid it altogether. So you've either got the option of stretch screen or original squashed up screen like that. Nah, just avoid it guys. Not ideal either way. Now obviously some carts I would recommend. Sunsoft is certainly a decent one. This is pretty recent and it looks fantastic on this little device. You can play some classics such as Gimmick, Johnny Tesselius, Master Blaster Boy, and this is obviously a Game Boy game. And it looks pretty decent on this device. I would actually even recommend sort of making it full screen because you can get away with it with the screen size being kind of similar to a Game Boy. And it's an excellent game, this, absolutely brilliant. This looks terrific on here. I think some of these games are certainly perfectly suited for your Super Pockets. This is definitely one of them. Anyways, let's move to the next cart. Okay, as we've already seen, I would certainly recommend this one. Xenocrisis Tanglewood. It's superb. An excellent, excellent game. And it looks fantastic on their Super Pockets. Ooh. And lastly, Galco Arcade 1, a must have. Excellent arcade game that maybe a lot of people haven't heard of or even played, but I think this is fantastic. Very tough though. Now guys, there's no doubt these are terrific little handhelds. At only 50 quid, they are a steal. Great value for money, and you've got the added bonus of playing your Evercade collections. Now arguably I think the Taito version is probably the one to have. It's got more games, it's certainly got games I would rather prefer playing than the Capcom version, but that's only my personal choice. I feel that Capcom games you can pretty much find in every device these days. Given the fact I've already got the Evercade EXP, the Taito version was definitely the one that was piquing my interest more than the Capcom one, and I'm certainly not disappointed. It's got 18 great little games. I'm thoroughly looking forward to playing through them more, especially Football Charm, Puzzle, Bobble. There's a few questionable inclusions. Obviously the vertical aspect ratio games, the Tate mode style games just don't really work for me on these devices, but there's no doubt these are quality devices. Given the fact they are only 50 quid, it certainly feels premium. It's solid, built very nicely indeed, nice sort of materials used. D-pad's very good, the buttons are nice as well. Obviously those shoulder buttons are not great. If you've got a game that's heavily using those shoulder buttons, probably not great. It's definitely the weakest thing about this. The screen is good, the sound is fantastic. So one last thing before we finish, I've got the sort of case that goes with this device, but you can obviously slide that in here. Like so, or face it round the other way if you don't want to damage the screen, and it fits in there really snugly indeed. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in buying one of these things, and the Super Pockets as well. But yeah, what a fantastic little device indeed. Yep guys, my overall thoughts, fantastic. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're not into the Evercade sort of community yet and you're interested in picking one up. This is a great way to start. It's quite cheap, it's reasonable, and certainly is great for travel as well. It fits in the pocket absolutely perfectly. A great little device, and certainly one I would recommend maybe pick up as a present for your loved one at Christmas. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.